Welcome to the first YHS Yu-Gi-Oh! Home Series, a tournament played at the comfort of your own home because the pandemic has shut everything down. It is the last day of competition of the YHS. In the last match, the infamous Banish deck took on the Nurse Emoji deck, with the Burn deck coming out on top. After these three matches, the Dragon Lady has taken victory 2 times, but just a regular guy who still wants to play a third game to prove his skills. Will he get a victory this time? Let's find out in this final match of this exciting tournament. With only 2 decks left, just a regular guy will be piloting the Gravekeepers, a deck that he has taken on only during the past few weeks. Versus the Dragon Lady's flagship deck, Chaos Max, a deck that has topped the locals numerous times, and while she has not played it much as of late, it is still one of her strongest decks. Let's duel! It is the third and final match of the YHS, and just a regular guy is playing Gravekeepers to go against the Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon deck. Dragon Ladies had 2 victories in this competition, so now this is the last time for just a regular guy to prove himself. So Gravekeepers is one of those race against time kind of decks. It has a win condition of 3 cards, a Hidden Temples of Necro Valley with the Necro Valley field card and any Gravekeeper monster on the field. So basically it just locks your opponent out for special summoning anything except for Gravekeeper. So with a dice roll, Dragon Lady got 4, regular guy got 3. So with Chaos Max, it's conventional wisdom to go second, so that is what the Dragon Lady is opting to do. Gravekeepers, they can go fairly well going first. Again, if they can get all the cards they need for the win condition, then that's it. Unless you have a back row destruction, that's game. So the Necro Valley Throne, so that just allows them to add a Gravekeeper's monster from deck to hand. And after it resolves, you can normal summon the Gravekeeper's monster. So he is going after the Gravekeeper's Commandant. Gravekeeper's Commandant, he just sent it to the grave. And there you go, Necro Valley. So he's got one piece of this puzzle already. Necro Valley is easy to get because you can have 3 in your deck and you have 3 Gravekeeper's Commandants in your deck. Well, there you go. It's just a discard and boom, to your hand it goes. So yeah, fairly often you can get the Necro Valley in your first hand. So he's activating it. So nothing can be moved from either graveyard. And of course, once you have your Gravekeeper on the field, it gains a power bonus. So normal summoning the Gravekeeper's Headman, so he can start to summon from the grave. So now you have 2 Gravekeepers already on his field. And Royal Tribute, it's off the ban list, so all monsters in my hand must go to the grave. And you don't get the draw anymore, so it's not like Trickstar Reincarnation or Card Destruction. So, great top deck there. Pot of Extravagance. Banish 6. Well, declared 6, he's going to banish. He's telling me to banish the top 6, so good enough. So I draw 2 cards, and let's see if I can recover from those loss of monsters, because those are really good monsters that went to the grave. 2 incantations. The incantation system is used in Chaos Max, and the whole goal with this is to go for a OTK, which is very easy, because once you get Chaos Max on the field, it does double piercing. So right now, Preparation of Rites. The go-for card in this is always the Chalice Slime. It is the only level 7 or lower ritual monster in this deck. So Chalice Slime can get everything going. One of the most important cards in this deck, or any ritual deck for that matter. So with limited monsters, I'm going to reveal the Chalice Slime. And for the cost, you can use any card, including himself. And it's fairly risky to use him as the cost, which is what I'll be doing, because the rest of the hand is just that good. But you can bring him back from the grave if you use a Pencil Plume. So going for the Talisman to get the Chaos Max to hand. So next, going to use Melody of Awakening Dragon. So for cost, use the Pencil Plume. Pencil Plume didn't really have many uses in the hand except for cost. And get out 2 dragons that have 3,000 or higher attack or 2,500 or lower defense. So a lot of cards can fit this definition. Checking the hand. So yes, Baby Chaos. Only one in this deck. Although with Master Row 5 coming up, that could change. And the Baby Chaos Max, that I like to call him, can be quite useful. It can be useful for OTK. So activating the Chaos form. And here he is, Baby. And he has the same protections. He cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. He does normal piercing damage, but he has a really good effect when he attacks, which can aid in an OTK if you were to get out of Chaos Max in the same turn. So battle phase, he's going to attack, and his effect is going to trigger. Is going to turn all your opponent's monsters into defense position. Well, change the opposite position. So anything in defense will go into attack, and anything in attack will go into defense. But regardless, they all become 0. 0 attack and 0 defense, and it is permanent. So with normal piercing, Baby is going to attack and do 3,000 damage. So for main phase 2, there is nothing that's going to be doing, so passing on to just a regular guy. So putting one face down, and he's just double checking the effects of Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon. Still a 3,000 attacker. I mean, he may not be as strong as the Chaos Max, but you don't want to mess with it. And he's leaving his card in defense position. Not sure if he missed that or not, but hey, he's still a 0 defense, so if a Chaos Max were to come out, well, that will be game, unless he can stop it from being summoned to begin with. So here we go, Chaos form, using the Blue Eyes as a tribute, and battle phase, and there you go. So with 0 defense, piercing, double piercing, that would be 8,000 damage. There's no way to get through that. So the first victory goes to the Dragon Lady, and that's typically how it works. You Chaos Max out, do double piercing for game, although most of the time you use creature swap for that method, but the Baby Chaos is really good for the win condition as well. So game 2, just a regular guy. He's opting to go first, so he's starting with the Pop Extravagance, the banner 6 cards, so that you can draw 2 cards. Now he does have an extra deck that he can use in Gravekeepers, but it only relies on a few monsters. So using Pop Extravagance in Gravekeepers is not as risky as it would be in the Valkyrie deck. But with Gravekeepers, you want to draw as many cards as you can, because it just means that you can reach the win condition even faster with the Hidden Temples, Necro Valley, and a Gravekeeper monster on the field. So he's going to draw his 2 cards. And with the consistency of this deck, right away he's going to discard the Commandant, which allows him to search his deck for a Necro Valley. This is what I mean. Getting Necro Valley in your first turn is extremely easy. So once he activates that, cannot move anything from your graveyard. You cannot recover anything from it. You cannot banish anything from it. Yes, this can slow down a lot of decks, including Chaos Max, because you can't recover things from the graveyard using the incantation system. So there you go. He's going to activate the Necro Valley. And once again, Royal Tribute. So Necro Valley's on the field, so all monsters in my hand has to go to the graveyard. And they stay there. Cannot recover, and they are good ones. Incantations. They get the ball rolling in Chaos Max. So the Pod Duality is another good card to dig even further into your deck to get that Hidden Temple of the Necro Valley. So he's got the Commandment, Headman, and the Pod Desires. More draw power, so this is a tough choice. Made his choice, and he's shuffling the rest back in. Royal Tribute can be devastating to some decks because you can get rid of a lot of key monsters, and again, you cannot draw anymore, so if you have a deck that relies on key monsters, then yeah, some people actually scoop at this point, but this is only turn 1. I can still draw a card. So he's going to normal summon the Commandant, and that's all he can do. So Dragon Lady draws a card. Can she do anything with this? Normal summon the Incantation Candle. Creature swap. This is one of the different uses you can use creature swap with. Give the incantation to your opponent. Now, under normal circumstances, I would typically leave it there, but in battle phase, I'm going to kill it. And where he has the power boost from Necro Valley, he's going to do extra damage. The extra deck of the Gravekeepers doesn't really intimidate me all that much, so I'm not really worried about, I'm not concerned about locking it out. I just want to get damage in. Because this extra deck doesn't have any win conditions on it. It just has some control monsters like destroying a monster or a back row. So it's really going against the clock here. I don't want the win condition of the 3 Gravekeeping or Necro Valley cards to come into effect, so I'm just going for damage as much as I can. So with the Pot of Desires, he's able to draw more cards. But of course, with that, you have to take a risk of banishing 10, so he could have banished one of the win condition cards. But at least with Creature Swap, I have a body on my side of the field. So Necro Valley Throne again, so I'm going to add a Gravekeeper's monster from deck to hand. The Gravekeeper Spy. Gravekeeper Spy is really nifty because if you flip it, you can special summon one Gravekeeper's monster within 1500 or less attack from your deck. And of course with Necro Valley, the Gravekeeper is going to get the power boost as well. So he's going to be setting it down in defense. And another card face down, and another card face down. Card of Demise, so draw into those 3 cards, and he has to use them, otherwise the rest will have to go to the grave during the end phase. So, end phase, he actually had 2 Necro Valleys in his hand. So Dragon Lady draws a card. So the Commandant, even though it's on the Dragon Lady's side of the field, still gets the power boost due to Necro Valley. So once again, another creature swap. Going to give him back the Commandant and take the defense one. Because due to the power boost, it means the Gravekeeper Spy will have added defense. And once it's flipped up, he won't get the search. So now he's going to be using another Necro Valley Throne to get another Gravekeeper monster. So right now, very little Chaos Max stuff going on in this duel. Gravekeeper's Descendant. So it's easy to tell what he's going for here. You contribute 1 other face of Gravekeeper's monster to target 1 card your opponent controls. So he has the requirement to use that effect. So yes, he's going to normal summon Gravekeepers. So he is going to use the Commandant for a tribute and target the Spy. So, but it doesn't really matter because he's not going to get the effect of the Spy. So still got the power boost, so he's going to attack and has the Dragon Lady's turn. Drew, don't have anything to play with. And there we go, Hidden Temple of Necro Valley. So this is the win condition, and Dragon Lady has nothing in her hand to deal with that, so she's just going to concede the duel at this point. And that was quite a intimidating back row there. So that is game 2, so that is a victory for just a regular guy. So game 3, and this is where everything's on the line. I love these games. So Dragon Lady lost the second round, so she gets to decide who goes first. And of course we know Chaos Max is best to go second, so she opted for just a regular guy to go first. So Pot of Extravagance, banish 6 extra deck monsters. So he can draw 2 cards. So he's able to get the win condition on game 2. Let's see if he can pull it off again in game 3. Randomly selecting 6 cards. And it looks like she picked good cards. But again, it's not the extra deck monsters that I am fearful for with Gravekeepers. It is that win condition. So it's a race against time. So Pot of Duality. So the Spiritualist, the Spy, and the Temples. So this is another tough choice because we already got one piece of the 3-card puzzle here for the win condition. And it is a tough choice. Real tough choice. So he is going to go for the Temples. And the rest will have to be shuffled in. Now, there are ways you can get around Hidden Temple and Necro Valley. I mean, I do side in back row destruction cards, but unless I already have them in my hand and I don't have much else to work with, most of the time I just conceal the duel at that point, and a lot of people do. You really need to side in a lot of back row destruction to get around it. So here we go, second piece already. He's discarding the Commandant to search for the Necro Valley. So all he needs now is to just normal summon a Gravekeeper monster, and that will be it. So 2 pieces. So he's going to go ahead and activate the Necro Valley once again, locking me out of doing anything in my graveyard, and Royal Tribute again. He just has a lot of luck of drawing that card and really good monsters. I sided in the Zaborg Mega Monarch because that's a good way to get rid of back rows with the extra deck. There are certain cards from the extra deck you can get rid of, you can banish. I'm sorry, send to the grave. So I'm gonna go ahead and search for the Chalice Slime. The only card you can really get with the Preparation of Rites in this build of Chaos Max. So we're gonna reveal the Chalice Slime to special the Talisman, and the Talisman is gonna summon another incantation to bring out the Candle. And Candle will allow you to search your deck for the Ritual Magic card. Now, Chaos Max was in the original hand and he's already in the graveyard. So under normal circumstances, you'd be able to recover him, but Necro Valley poses a problem. So, got the Advanced Ritual Art. So I'm going to reveal the Chalice Slime for his own effect, and I will use him as the cost. Usually I'll use the Chalice Slime as a cost if everything else in my hand is just too good to part with. Now, get the Pencil Plume. So Pencil Plume would normally recover a ritual monster from the grave, but because of Necro Valley, I am locked out. But it's not overly a bad idea to do it anyway, because at least it gives you a wall of protection. The more incantations out, the better. But I took a chance with this because the rest of my hand was just too good to part with. I used a Chalice Slime as its own cost. But because of the effect of Chalice Slime, if you don't ritual summon a monster during the same turn you use this effect, you will be burned for 2,500 life points. So the burn takes place in the end phase. So it is just a regular guy's turn. So he's going to set a card face down. And card a demise, so he's going to go ahead and draw until he has 3. And he has to use them all. And discard the rest in the end phase. So the Pot of Desire is going to be banishing 10. Just double checking the effect. So he's going to go ahead and banish the top 10 and draw 2 cards. Because I already know he has the Necro Valley Temple, so he just needs to normal summon a Gravekeeper. So I guess the reason why he's doing all this draw power is probably he didn't have any in his hand. But he will now, thanks to the Necro Valley Throne, so he's going to add a Gravekeeper monster from the deck to his hand. So as long as it's level 4 or lower, that is it. And there you go, Gravekeeper's Descendant. And at this point, I'm feeling, yeah, pretty much game at this point. So he's normal summoning, activate the temple, and there you go. There's a lockdown. So already, it's as well to concede the duel. So match 3 goes to just a regular guy. So that concludes the first YHS. It was a pleasure to host this event. The duels are both fun and intense. I hope everyone enjoyed this event. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to see more events like this or just live duels in general. So remember to be a good sport, play the game, not the feign, and remember to stay safe out there. We're all in this together. And if you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Online but not quite sure how, you can check on the link in the description below. See ya! Thanks for watching! If you like what you see, subscribe and be sure to click on the bell for notifications. You can also check me out on Facebook. The link is in the description below. Happy dueling!